Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing a little day in the life, but we're doing it with food. So as I've mentioned before, I have ADHD, and one of the parts that shows up, one of the parts of my life where that really shows up is with food. A lot of people with ADHD will have hyperfixations, and they will have their certain foods that they eat again and again and again and again. I am actually the opposite. I have a really hard time eating a meal multiple times in a row. In life, I will eat things many times, but like if I do a big pot of chili, let's say, and then it's supposed to last me, the whole week of lunches. After 2 lunches, I'm like, I cannot eat this anymore. I cannot do it. So I have to really switch things up a lot. And so what I've found is it helps to like have a lot of variations on one thing. So this morning we are doing one variation of toast. The variation that we're doing today is actually from somebody I found on YouTube. She is a registered dietitian, and she also has ADHD, but like didn't realize it until she was older, which, every woman in their 30s. But her name is Kylie Sakita, and she has great videos on like realistic healthfulness. She makes it really, she's not a diet person. She's very much like food is important, and it's important to eat what you're gonna eat. So like, don't kid yourself on what you're gonna eat. So she talks about like, if you wanna make ramen from a package, make ramen from a package, but here are some things that you can add to it to make it a more full meal. So she's big on like fiber and protein and all the things that we're supposed to be eating. So this toast today is a riff on avocado toast. But the thing that I had never done before and that I'm actually really enjoying is that we're adding beans to it. So in the recipe, her book, So Easy, So Good, I got it, love it. I've got all these tabs on different recipes I want to try. I've already done about, I think, 5 of them, and they've been good. So she said to add white beans, and one thing I learned is that, so like I go to Trader Joe's a lot, and they didn't have white beans, but Great Northern beans here in the US of A are the same thing as white beans. So this is my can of white beans. I actually did this yesterday, so some of it's already pre-prepped, but we are going to start with the bread portion. I can be a little picky with certain things. I love food. I will try basically anything, but certain things I get picky about. One of those things is toast. I do not put my toast in the toaster. I find that to be so dry. I cannot stand it. So this is why we are here at the stove. If you do not want to make toast on the stove and you just want to use your toaster, then you can do this breakfast without anything with the stove, which is great. But I've got my pan heating up. So what I really like about this toast is it's got like a full meal feeling. So the avocado plus beans, obviously that's some really good like healthy fats from the avocado, and then beans have protein and fiber, which will keep you full. I use sourdough bread, whatever bread you want. And then, so it's toast, and then the avocado bean mash, and then topped with tomatoes, arugula, cheese, and a balsamic glaze. I feel like this really was like the topper. This was great. But you will see all that put together. First though, I need to make my toast. Usually I have some music playing while I cook. I actually have a cooking playlist. It's titled Sous Chef. Yeah. Alright, so the way I do toast is instead of like attempting to smear butter on my bread, I just coat the pan in butter and then put the bread on. And then do the same thing for the other side. But the switch ups that I did in this recipe, I guess they're actually pretty minimal. She calls for feta cheese. I already had cotija, which is one of my favorites, and it's nice and crumbly just like feta, so I just went with that. I would say it's a little milder than feta, but delicious regardless. And if you like, I mean, you could even put like goat's cheese on this. That would be really yummy. Even Parmesan, to be honest. Anything that's more like, I would say like not the star of the show. Like you don't want to do like I can't imagine a sharp cheddar or like a pepper jack cheese on this. It's definitely got to be one that like kind of lends a little flavor but blends in. While this is cooking, I am in the midst of making coffee, so I need to do that. Okay, so our toast is toasting. Let's get the other side going. And we can discuss a little bit about, that was the water for my coffee. I forgot that it makes a lot of noise. But I do believe my toast is done. So I have turned off the stove. Remember, turn off the stove, please. And I've got my toast, and we are going to move over to the prep area to put our toast together. I've got my delicious sourdough toast, and the first thing we're gonna put on is our bean and avocado mash. Now I've had lots of discussions with my friend about avocados because she and I both enjoy them, but we're kind of slow at eating them. I don't love a ton of it on my stuff, and so, you know, I'll eat like a sixth of an avocado at a time. And so she and I've talked a lot about how to preserve it so it doesn't get gross and brown. So definitely I think mixing it with the beans has helped keep it nice and green. But in this mixture, I've got, I did half an avocado with half a can of the beans. And then of that, I used half yesterday. So this is a quarter of an avocado and a quarter of a can of beans here. But in addition to the beans and avocado, I included a little salt and pepper. I also put in a dash of cumin for a guacamole feel, and lime juice. So that is already pre-mixed in. The lime juice does help preserve the avocado so it doesn't get too brown. And then additionally, when I stored this, I put on a layer of plastic wrap to keep the top of the mash covered, because it's the oxygen, it's oxidization when it turns brown. So covering it helps prevent oxygen from getting there and getting it gross. So we will, and yes, I am using my slicing knife for scooping and spreading. That's just because I really hate the dishes. That's another thing with cooking, is that you have to do dishes. But I really hate the dishes, even though I have a dishwasher, which is helpful. But I'm definitely of the mindset, you know, the less dirty dishes, the better. This is not a great scooper for this, but we will survive. Okay. We get this on. Okay. And then we top, she has it like arugula and then tomatoes and cheese and then balsamic. That does look prettier. However, I found yesterday when I did that, you know, the arugula just makes it not a flat surface, and so then things that are on top of the arugula want to fall off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the tomato and cheese first, arugula on top, and then balsamic, and we'll just pretend it's as pretty as it is the other way. And also not care too much how it looks because we're just eating it at home by ourselves. So, got my tomatoes here. Let's rinse those real quick. Okay. So we've got our tomatoes to add. And I will say, so like I had this yesterday for breakfast, and what I was so impressed about was like the inclusion of the beans. It like really does help fill you up. I was surprised at how long I stayed full after this. Let's just make some more room for my naters. Okay, so tomatoes on. Then I've got my block of tortilla, which as you can see, I've been working on. I freaking love this cheese. This will make a reappearance later in the day because for lunch, I include this cheese as well. Next, we will add our arugula. This is really a full meal. I mean, we've got fiber from the beans and the veg. We've got our greens with our arugula. And I'm assuming you could probably put whatever greens you like on here. I like arugula. We've got fat from the cheese and avocado. We've got more fiber in the beans. We've got protein from the cheese and the beans. And then whole grains in the bread. All right, that is enough for me. And so then our actual final pizzazz is our balsamic glaze. And I just got this from Trader Joe's a while ago. It's lasted me a good long time. Also, I think it's funny, like watching people drizzle. There's definitely an art to it, I've learned. But like a lot of people I'll see, they like over drizzle. If they're on a cutting board, they like over drizzle and then put it on, and because then it like looks prettier. But I'm just like, that feels like a waste of the stuff to me. So I am not an over drizzler, and I definitely eat my extra drips. Anyway, so this is our final product. It is pretty big size and delicious. let's sit down real quick, take a bite, and discuss. All right. I already filmed this once, the sit down and try it, but I definitely forgot about the air conditioning being right behind the camera and the fact that that is loud. So we're here with our food that absolutely does not have a bite taken out of it. It's so beautiful and pristine. When I first sat down, I did realize that like I had left the cabinet door open. So I went to go close it and realized that I also left my cheese, my arugula, my tomatoes, everything out. My partner is much more a clean as you go type of cook. I, on the other hand, I will say if it's a long drawn out process, like if I'm making a soup and there's like simmer time, then I try and clean at those points. But in general, like with this kind of thing where it's just do the stuff and then you're done, I tend to leave a mess and then clean it up afterwards. Are you a clean as you go type of cook or a wait till later type of cook? Let me know in the comments. But we've got our gorgeous toast, all the colors. Let's try it for the first time and see how it is. That's not my first bite, but it's still delicious and so good. I feel like what makes this just top tier is the full food experience. Texture wise, my toast is a little toasty, crispy. My avocado and bean mash is really creamy. And then my tomatoes and arugula are really fresh. Flavor wise, the cheese. The cheese is salty and the balsamic is like sweet and sour, tart, vinegary. So I just feel like it really nutritiously is a full meal, but then also taste wise and texture wise, it's a full meal experience, which you can't beat. You really can't beat it. So I'm going to continue eating this. I hope that y'all maybe got a little inspiration. Sorry about that light. Hopefully y'all got a little inspiration. Maybe you make this for yourself one day. And then we are doing a full day of eating. So after this, you will see me again for lunch. We are going to make a salad. It's my current favorite salad. We'll leave you with a little teaser there. What kind of salad is it, you might wonder? We'll see. All right, y'all. Happy eating. Welcome back for lunch. We are making a buffalo chicken salad. Currently, I have some chicken nuggets in the air fryer, which makes a lot of whirring. Hence the voiceover, because the audio for this video was not great. So you'll see I am putting some grains in the bowl initially. I've got quinoa. Of course, you could use brown rice, a mixture of the two, whatever your little heart desires. But this will help bulk out the salad and make sure it's a full meal. So we pop that in the microwave real quick just to get the cold off of it. I don't actually want it hot. But next up are some greens. I am using a spring mix. I did read an article about a healthy gut is one that gets a variety of plants. So I like to use mixed greens because if I got, let's say, just spinach, spinach is good for you, but it would be just one plant. Whereas with this spring mix, I get to use, 5, 6 different plants in one go. Now we're starting with our toppings. First off, I've got some delicious radish. Radish gives an excellent crunch. I wouldn't say the flavor, these
are from Trader Joe's, and the flavor is not too bold at all. So it's really just there for texture and to add another plant to our meal. Now we are adding some shredded carrots. I do use pre-shredded. I'm big on removing boundaries between you and the food you want to eat. So if that means buying something pre-prepared, if buying something prepared means that you will eat more of it, then have at it. After our carrots, we've got a return from this morning with some beautiful grape tomatoes all sliced up and some olives. I really like the addition of the olives for their saltiness, and these are really like the only cold thing in the salad, so it's a nice contrast to the hot chicken nuggets. Once all of our veg is added, now we come to our toppings. As you can see, we are using the same cheese from this morning. I do love a cotija. This is really nice because it gives just a mild saltiness. It's more mild than feta, but still a little bit of saltiness. Next up, for our toppings, I like to add a little ground flaxseed for fiber. Honestly, I can't taste it in there. It's purely for the supposed health benefits, along with some hemp hearts. I really like hemp hearts. They give just a mild nuttiness, as well as a little boost of protein, which will help make this salad tide you over to the next meal. Final extra topping are pumpkin seeds. I toasted these on the stovetop. These I love both for the flavor and nutrition, but also they deliver a great crunch for the salad. Obviously, since we're having buffalo chicken salad, we need buffalo sauce along with ranch as our dressing. And then we will pull the chicken nuggets out of the air fryer, chop those up to bite-sized pieces, and add them on top. These, along with the hemp seeds, provide protein, and then obviously we've got a lot of fiber in here, along with the quinoa, which will act as a carb and keep you full all the way until dinner. So once we get these added in, we have our beautiful salad. Let's sit down, take a taste, and discuss how it is.
All right, we've got our beautiful salad. The one tricky part though, do you mix it? It's kind of a lot for the bowl, so it's hard to mix without losing items. But I always feel weird just like eating into it. I think because by the end I feel like I've eaten all the dressing and there's still stuff left. So I do try and mix it a little bit. Excuse me while I do that. And then it's always fun to get everything in your first bite, if possible. I think I did it. I've got, yep, tomato, radish, carrot, greens, quinoa, cheese, toppings, chicken nugget. So, let's see. When you see that chicken nugget fall off as I tried to eat it, I'm gonna go eat this. I hope that y'all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in a little bit for dinner. Have a good one. All right, so it's a few days later, and I didn't cook dinner. Some days that happens to me. That night I got really into a sewing project and kind of worked right past dinner. Then I realized it was late and I was just sort of hungry, and I ended up making a drink for myself, like a meal replacement drink instead of an actual meal. So, you know, plans change.
things happen. Welcome to ADHD. But the pasta that I was going to make was very good. So one day we'll have to do a cook with me video and make that recipe together. That is all for now. So I will see you in the next one.